Okay, what's up, guys? My name is Marc Augustine, and I'm not going to go through a long introduction. This is the Marc Show, a different part of my YouTube channel where I host various CEOs, successful entrepreneurs in the e-commerce space. Now, this gentleman here, Eric, he'll introduce himself. He moved from Shopify Dropshipping, where he got up to, he will tell you his numbers. He got up to about $1 million a month, but he could go into detail. And now is the CEO of a software company that provides applications for Shopify, including ReConvert. So, Eric, so a quick introduction to my audience. Who are you? First of all, where you're from? How old are you? The basics.
Yeah, all right. So first of all, Mark, thank you for having me. Excited to be here. I love all the content you put out. From what I've seen, I didn't see too much of it, but
Yeah.
From what I've seen, I really loved it. I love the interviews. My name is Eric. I live in Tel Aviv, Israel, and I'm 30 years old. What else should I say about the basics? Should I start telling the story, or do you have like more pointers?
Right, you're 30. How long have you been an entrepreneur? How long have you started this process of running your own businesses?
So, all right. So actually, once I don't know if you know that, but in Israel, you have to go to the military, to the army.
Right.
So from 18 to 21, I was in the military, got out, and then I lived in Miami for a while, for a few months, trying to sell some Dead Sea products. It wasn't for me. Then I got back to Israel and I was a waiter for a while. Then I decided to open my own real estate brokerage agency. Again, it wasn't really for me, but I understood already back in 22, 23 that I don't want to be, I don't want to work for someone else. I want to be an entrepreneur and I want to be, work on my own just because I like the freedom. It's not even related to the money. I want to be free and I want to be able to do whatever I want to do. So the real estate agency broker, it was a fail idea. And back in the day, a good friend of mine just told me, hey, dude, let's just open an online store. Now, I didn't have any background whatsoever related to technology, writing code. I didn't know how to turn the computer on and off. I knew nothing about computers.
Wow.
Yeah, honestly, nothing. And I was like, all right, let's do this. Why not? So we watched this crash course from these two Canadian guys about Shopify. I didn't know what Shopify is. I didn't know what dropshipping is. I saw this crash course and it was, at the beginning, I thought it was some sort of a scam where you kind of buy something, sell it to someone else without having it in your inventory. Or I figured it sounds a little sketchy, but I said, all right, let's learn more about this stuff. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we moved out of Tel Aviv to kind of, quiet our minds from all the noise in Tel Aviv and all the friends and all the parties and all that. And we started an online store. The first store name was zoopgear.com. We used to sell MMA and boxing equipment, okay, punching bags, boxing gloves, and all that. And we also didn't use the classic business model for dropshipping. Most dropshippers, they take products from AliExpress or China, just sell it to the US or worldwide. We decided to go to a little bit more complex business model, which didn't count on Facebook. It was counting on Google Ads, and we communicated directly with the US suppliers, directly with the brand. So we talked to Title Boxing, Ringside, all these big boxing companies, and asked them if they're willing to dropship. Most of them did, but the profit margins were very thin, and we didn't know that back then. We didn't know that the profit margin was so low. So no, we didn't have any mentor to kind of take us through the process and tell us, listen, guys, the pricing model can work in here. We didn't know that. So we just kept pushing for about 2 years. During these 2 years, we learned everything about e-commerce and everything about how to build a business in a very efficient way. But we lost money, a lot of money every month because of two things. One was the profit margins that we didn't know anything about. We didn't know that it was like 30% margin, which is nothing. You need to have like 200%, 300% margin in order to make it profitable. So that was one. And then the second was these guys who they taught us a method that works well with Google Ads, but they used to sell sex toys. And when you sell sex toys, 100% of your traffic is going through Google because you're not allowed to advertise anywhere else. Right. So they were crushing it. They had this awesome store, and we were unable to get to the same numbers because we didn't understand that these products are allowed to advertise everywhere. So it's not like 100% of the traffic is going through Google. Yeah, so pretty much we were struggling for a few. We also moved to Krakow in Poland for about 8 months. Met a lot of guys who did e-commerce, including the mentors that gave us our course. So it was a good time, crazy time. And then eventually we got upset. We did everything. We did everything right. We just had the basics were wrong. So what we've done back in the day, I just we got upset, and I told him, all right, listen, we already understand. There's no reason everybody else is doing that, and we are unable to do this. We decided to build a new store, move to the classic business model of dropshipping from AliExpress to end customers. But what we've done then is we took the few winning products we had in the previous stores, which were related to sauna suits, sauna vests, all sweating enhancers, and we took the pixel, the data we had on the Facebook pixel and Google pixel for a product we used to buy at $40 and sell for $60. We took this product, found an alternative on AliExpress that cost $4, sold it for $20. Suddenly everything exploded because the data was so high quality of people that are willing to pay 3 times more for your product, and then things clicked. And I think that's something that many people, when it comes to dropshipping and e-commerce, don't understand. The main value you're getting from everything you do is buying data. And if, as long as from day one, you set up the pixels in the right position, over time, you're going to get enough high quality traffic and information on your pixel that you can leverage it to start making profits. And that's the one thing that I think many people are missing. There are a lot of other points that are important, but that's pretty much what we've done.
Let me ask you one thing. What gave you all the assurance to stick through it for 2 years? And I ask that because in this making money online dropshipping world, people look for like, okay, I want to start a business and make money tomorrow, right? You guys, was it that you all were young? Was it you just had a partner, you all just wouldn't give up? What is it that had you all stick through it for 2 years? Because that's what would have given you all the data that eventually, and the experience eventually turned it around, right?
Yeah, all right. So there are a few things. First of all, I believed in my partner blindly, and I still do. He's an awesome guy. We split it out later, but love this guy, good friend. And I believed in him very deeply. So that's one. Second, it's about mentality. You know, throughout life, you learn to be tough. Some people do, not everyone, but you know, in the army, been through some shit, and then you know, whenever you don't have any option other than moving forward, you just move forward. Yeah. And you know, I do always tell to myself whenever you're, oh, sorry. I don't know why someone called me. I think it, yeah, sorry. So I always tell myself that, you know, whenever you work hard to accomplish something, you have 2 options. You either continue to go, or you just quit. And whenever you do quit, you take all the effort, all the money, all the time spent on whatever it was you were trying to achieve, and multiply it by 0. And that's always a bad option. So if let's say after 1.5 years, I decided to quit, I would just take everything I've done and multiply it by 0. And that's not an option. And you know, also, if you try to define, people have a wrong definition of failure and failing. You know, I view life in a way that is, there is no way to fail. If you decide there is no way to fail, you can either die or succeed. And you just continue to go until eventually it's going to work. You can either die, and then in this case, who cares, you know, you're dead, or you're going to succeed. But there is no option to, you know, to just back off. It doesn't make any sense to me, at least.
Wow. Okay, so the 2 years has passed. You all have the data. You all switched to the other model. Then what? Yeah, so you had all these potential clients that were okay with the certain price range, and then what happened?
And then, we were already pretty good on media buying, anything related to Facebook ads, Google ads, all of that. The website was already optimized toward conversion. And then we just kind of scaled it up, a lot of lookalikes, a lot of retargeting, a lot of email marketing, a lot of SMS marketing, a lot of all of these things that helps you generate some extra revenue. From day one, by the way, I was really into different apps on the App Store. I was always attracted to the world. So I got there always, when there was a new technology, a new app coming out, I was always trying to reach out to the founder, see if I can get this technology into my website to have this secret power before everyone else does. And it used to always help. But yeah, once we started scaling up, other issues came up. Once you finally getting to scale, suddenly there are a lot of issues with stock, a lot of issues with suppliers, a lot of issues with sizing, a lot of issues with customers. Scaling itself is a pain. Eventually, dropshipping is a lot about logistics. Even though you don't touch anything with your hands, you need to solve a lot of issues. Yeah, I mean, you gotta deal with it. Eventually, being a businessman, it's about solving problems.
Right.
That's.
Hold on. I'm not hearing you all of a sudden. 1 second.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you now. Yeah. I'll edit out that piece, but yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. I don't know where you lost me, but eventually what I'm saying is that one of the reasons I decided also to move to SaaS was that with e-commerce, it's always about putting out fires, and there are always issues that are not related to you that can come up again and again and again. It can be things about shipments not arriving. It can be about inventory stuck somewhere in the sea. It can be about customers asking, where is my order? Which, to be honest, no matter what you do, this question will always repeat itself. And it's kind of a headache. So with software, the thing I like is whenever something comes up more than 5 to 10 times, you can already create some sort of automation to solve the issue before it even comes up.
Okay. And then so you got into this. You moved into SaaS. You moved into is ReConvert your first attempt at SaaS or no?
Not really. So what I've done is pretty much during the time that I've been doing dropshipping, I created this list of things that were missing for my store because I needed them. And I listed all of these down, all of these issues that I had in my store that I need to find solution for. For me, that whenever a good enough solution comes out, I'm going to be able to use it after I've done enough research. Let's say I have 5 problems. For all of them, I did research and didn't find a single tool that can help me solve my issue. You are left with 2 options: either develop it yourself or wait for another solution to come. And I just told myself, if I'm already developing it, why should I just develop it for myself? Let's build it for everybody else. So from this list of issues, I had like 20 ideas. Some of them, I still have this list. So a list of like 20 ideas for different apps. I started ranking them by, and this is something we took from the previous course we took for finding winning products. We just put all the ideas in one column, and then on the X column, whatever, we wrote down a few characteristics to kind of help us evaluate each idea. So it can be things like, what is the potential pricing? What's the loyalty potential? I mean, if a user uses this app, what are the chances he's going to stay for 1 month? What are the chances he's going to stay for 1 year? Complexity, how complex it's going to be? What's the marketing potential? And a bunch of, competition. We tried to evaluate a few different metrics and then came up with a final kind of score for each app. ReConvert came up at the top 3, let's say, but we decided to start with something that is smaller just to test the waters, because I'm not a developer. I have no idea. I had not how to do this. I'm not a technical person. So we understood that we had to outsource the entire process. and this is an area that I know nothing about. So at this point, by the way, this was pretty much around the area when I decided to split from my previous partner. We had different ambitions, different goals back in the day. So I sold my half of the business to him, and my sister used to own a small Shopify store back in the day. And I told her, you know what, sis, let's build an app. And she's like, no, it's complex. There are a lot of things we need to think about. And I'm like, no, don't worry about it. Let's go. Let's just try. Now, she's a little bit more technical than me, but still, she's also not a developer.
Right.
So we created with this simple app. We call it Shipping Tags. It's still on the App Store. It still generates like $2,000 a month from thin air, pretty much. And so we created a specification document, which mentioned exactly what needs to be in the app, including some mock-ups of what it should look like. And then we searched, once we had this document, we searched on Upwork a bunch of developers and interviewed them, asked them to go through the document, write comments, write time estimations, and give us some like an offer for the entire project, how much it's going to cost us. And then after we decided on which developers we wanted to go, we pretty much started the first app, which was Shipping Tags. Again, I think it was like $3,000 to develop. It went to the App Store for like $10 a month, and we started getting installs from day one. And at that point, we understand, all right, let's go all in. Let's build something bigger. Now, as I mentioned, Shipping Tags now generate monthly pretty much what it costs to create the entire app.
Right.
And it's been there for a few years now. So that's what we've doing since then, pretty much. Now the business operation is much wider. We have more people, but still, the processes are pretty much the same.
And when and I'll get to ReConvert and the actual features and so on, and why you chose to build this app in particular. But when you first uploaded the first app, how did you get the first downloads? Is it that you did marketing from dropshipping? Is it that you did paid ads to get downloads, or it's just that like it solved a specific problem in the App Store and people came across it?
All right. So a few things. First of all, we have a channel talking just about the apps and what we're doing in there and how we solved a lot of business issues, including marketing and development and all of that. It's called Online Biz TV. So if anyone interested, they can check it out.
Yeah, I'll put the link in the description, guys, so you can check out. There will be a link in the description to both of Eric's channels and his other social media handles, as well as a direct link to ReConvert. But yeah, go ahead.
And by the way, it might sound weird, but we're just not selling anything. We're just sharing what we know. So yeah, in terms of how we marketed the first app. So first of all, I thought let me give you a nice piece of information. Back in 2000, when I decided to go into building apps, I started to watch everything on YouTube related to developing Shopify apps, and there wasn't much information, at least not information that is not technical. So there is this conference called Shopify Unite that Shopify is doing every month for all the developers with all the new features, and Shopify shares a lot of information, interesting information there. And they said that, again, back in 2017, when there were like 600,000 stores, now there are 2 million. Or 800,000 back in the day, I don't know. So they said that an average store had 6 apps installed on their store, okay? And a Shopify Plus store, which is the enterprise level, have an average of 14 apps installed. So let's stay with the 6 apps. If you just take the 6 apps on average, multiply it by 2 million stores you got right now, it's like 12 million installs, and there are like, I don't know, 6,000 apps. These are very good numbers. These are very good numbers.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can just understand the average amount of installs per app. So I figured if I could just, out of 2 million stores, if I just build a feature that is unique for my app, I'm the only one providing this feature, I don't even need to search for people. They will search for me, because as a merchant, I knew that whenever I have an issue, my first instinct is to go into the App Store and search for the solution. So with Shipping Tags, all we've done is we allowed merchants to create shipping rates based on product tags. I remember I needed that in Zubgear, in my original store. There was no such app that's been doing that. So we just built it, and merchants started coming from day one. Also, We got, I think I can share some data later maybe, but I don't remember. I need to check the analytics. But a few installs per day since day one, $10 a month for the app, and we understood another important thing is most app developers on Shopify are not marketers; they're developers, and developers thinks in a very different way than us dropshippers and marketers. They think about technical stuff. They don't think about marketing. They don't think about user experience. They don't think about pricing. They don't think about any of these things. And that's why usually they're going to lose in this game. As a marketer, it's very easy to manipulate the search algorithm. It's very easy to understand where your customers are. It's very understand to talk the language to them. So it's been pretty easy since day one. But ReConvert was the same idea, just bigger in terms of building something that I knew people needed. I needed it myself. I used different solutions that were horrible, and I knew I could build something better. That was the thing.
Okay, and what specifically? Let's move on to ReConvert in particular. What specifically differentiated your solution from relatively similar solutions that were there before? I know it go ahead.
Yeah, sure, no problem. So ReConvert, what we are doing in Shopify is we are pretty much, first of all, it's a self-service. Anyone can do it. And what we're doing is post-purchase upsells, which means you complete the order, and then between the checkout and the thank you page, there are two offers that the customer can accept, add to his order with a single click without having to re-enter payment information. So let's say you bought, I don't know, this mug, and then you complete the checkout, and then between the checkout and the thank you page, you got this offer, get another mug for 15% off for the next 2 minutes only. Decide. If you click yes, it's been added. We charge you for this mug and send you to the thank you page. If not, then you move on to a downsell. It can be a different offer, and then you move to the thank you page. And not only that, for the thank you page itself, we have a drag and drop editor with 16 different widgets, including upsells, collect customer birthdays, surveys, order tracking, all of this stuff. I can explain a lot about each of them, but that's the main idea. We're trying to be price friendly, which means first of all, there are 30 days free trial. And then if you are a smaller store with less than 50 orders a month, the app is 100% free forever. Wow. Okay. And then if you grow from there, the pricing is dynamic. And if you have a better month, you pay a little bit more. If you have a lower month, you pay a bit less or nothing, depends if it's less than 50 orders. And the average ROI on the app is in thousands of percentages. So if you usually if you pay like $100, you're going to generate at least like $2,000. These are the numbers that we're used to work with.
Okay. Yeah. And what data would you have used? So you're selling on Shopify and you're seeing this problem where you're making sales and you have some idea how to upsell or downsell based on like that seems like I liken that to a lot of landing pages with click funnels and that type of stuff, where they collect your data or they sell you something, and if you're not purchasing, they might offer you something. If you purchase, they'll offer something less, offer something more. What data did you use to choose to go that route? Because if you're saying you're creating something that wasn't there before, usually when you're building a solution, you'll have to test, like you'll test some sort of data, whether it's you make a sale and you sell emails and then you sell more. What data? Right. You understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. My answer to that is I never invent anything. There is no point in doing that. Usually when you try to invent stuff, you're just going to end up a dumb person who builds something nobody needs. All right. I just looked around. I looked at the Shopify default thank you page. It was empty. I looked at the Amazon thank you page, AliExpress's thank you page, eBay's thank you page. Every single store that I looked at that is a huge retailer, the thank you page was packed with things you can do. You could always buy more products. You could always give some information. You could always do that. And I think, if someone like Amazon does that, it's probably a good idea to try it on your store. And then For the post-purchase offers, same idea. I used to look for something similar on my store. I used a few solutions. I saw that it works, but it had a lot of issues because it wasn't native to the Shopify checkout. So I decided, you know what, let's build it natively to the Shopify checkout. Then there are all the advantages without any of the disadvantages. So that's what we've done. And it just works. I even back in the day, I made a test order at Gymshark, which is a huge Shopify store. I don't know if you
I know exactly, because we analyzed Gymshark for the store that we manage here, but because it's a
so when we
brand.
just started out, I just I made a test order on Gymshark just to have a look at their thank you page, and I was shocked when I saw that there was nothing there. Nothing that we have stores generating $300,000 just from the thank you page. That's insane. And the fact that some stores are just giving this up, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
But you said something. You're saying that you didn't reinvent it. You saw the bigger stores, the bigger retailers, like the billion-dollar retailers doing similar. And there's something that you mentioned. So you mentioned that you could do a one-click purchase without re-adding your payment details, right? I remember back, I've been an entrepreneur I'm 39, I'm 9 years older than you are. And I remember when Amazon had the patent for one-click purchases, because back in the day, no website could save the payment details, only Amazon. And that was like the big claim to fame. So that's an interesting thing that you used with this app.
So it's something that Shopify had to open up for us. It's not something that we were able to do on our own because it's a different page it wasn't exist in Shopify in the platform. Until then, they are doing the card vaulting. We're not vaulting the card information. We don't hold customer credit card information. We can just charge them, and if it's passing through, then Shopify make the charge.
Okay. And this is something that you all had to negotiate with Shopify to get access to, or how does that part work?
So pretty much, actually, there have been a few partners that got access earlier than us, but eventually we requested to get into the second round, and we got included, and then the entire team started working on this feature, and we released that as well. But that's like 2 years after we went in. At the beginning, the first 2 years was just thank you page.
Okay.
So just thank you page. We also added, a lot of personalization options. So the thank you page, the beautiful thing about the thank you page is that you already have all the information about the customer at this stage. So the first time someone gets to the thank you page, everything about him. You can really personalize the experience for him. Okay, you know what he bought, you know where he's from, you know how many orders he got, you know the order value, you know everything about the customer. So you can more than that, you can know how many times he visited. One of the interesting thing we found out is that a customer visits the thank you page on average 2.7 times per order. Why? Because Shopify by default send the customer back to the thank you page from the transactional emails. All these order confirmation email, shipping confirmation email, all these emails send the customer back to the thank you page. So you can actually upsell them based on the stage of the order. So let's say they get back to the thank you page and the order was already fulfilled. You can display a different message or a different offer, or ask them to do something else. You can ask them for their birthday, for example, and then you can sync it to Klaviyo and send them a birthday email, the next year or whatever. So there are a bunch of things you can do. You can really take it to the next level, but it's up to you. Eventually, most people don't customize it to the next level. They just do a basic design for the thank you page.
Why do you think most people don't customize it? Is it that they just don't know? Because most people get into Shopify dropshipping and dropshipping based on some sort of influencer, right? Some sort of course that it took or someone told them to get into it. Why is it that you think so many people leave that wide open space for extra sales?
So it depends on a few factors. First of all, it depends on the resources of the company. Some stores are just a single person trying to move around and make business happen. So we did create a one-click activation process where you just tell us, when you install the app, we just ask you, hey, what is the maximum amount of discount you're willing to offer? Let's say 30%, and we automatically create a funnel, a post-purchase funnel, including 2 offers, 1 downsell, and a thank you page that is fully optimized based on the discounts you provided. So it's going to start like a 10% discount, then 20% discount. If he declines both of them, it's going to be 30% discount. So we show him something that is optimized. So, and it's also showing products that are more personalized towards the customer. And this usually works very good. We also withdraw all the design settings, so you don't have to do much to have a very good, strong best practice implemented. It's just a one click. But some stores, they have just more, the needs are more specific. There are stores with thousands of products, and usually they try to, make the offer based on collection or based on a cart value and stuff like that. And some stores, they just have like, a single product. They're drop shipping they have this one ad that works for this one product. So there's no reason for them to create multiple offers. You see, so that's, and many store owners are lazy. Let's face it. Many store owners are very lazy, and that's the truth. So they just don't do it because they're lazy. Like how many sellers? I don't know how strongly familiar you are with Shopify and Klaviyo, for example, but I'm seeing so many merchants that are doing e-commerce for 2 to 3 years and barely have abandoned cart sequence on Klaviyo. Like 2 emails.
Yeah. But why I struggle, maybe I've been an entrepreneur pretty much my entire adult life. And I think that is something that is a bit different in drop shipping, because a lot of people get into drop shipping to make extra income, or they have nothing else to do. That's just the truth, right? So when people have some sort of success, they might stay there and just get complacent, right? And I think that is something that is a big difference, or something that a lot of you guys watching this should take into account, because in my opinion, you should also try to push to the next level, even though you may not know where the level is. You know what I mean? So what it is that, so let me jump back to Shopify for a second when you were running a store, because I wanted to know how many people were on your team when you first started, and then did you need to continue hiring to scale to $1 million a month when you were selling on Shopify?
You're talking about hiring?
Yeah, was it just you and your partner and maybe some designers, or how did that work?
It was just the two of us for, I think, the first year and a half until we, it was just the two of us for about a year and a half. We used some Fiverr designers whenever we needed. And we understood, there are a lot of people that don't even understand that. We understood that we are the ones needs to handle the media buying. We are the ones that needs to handle the marketing. We are the one that needs to handle everything. Many people don't even understand that. And they're just thinking, all right, I'll pay someone on Fiverr $10 and he's going to run $1 million ads for me. That just doesn't make any sense. So we understood that. And after a year and a half, I think the point about hiring is you need to hire when you have enough resources to do it, and whenever there's too much work that you can't handle it on your own. It's better if you can have both of these situations together. Not because you're lazy, not because you don't want to learn a specific area of the business. That's just, it's not viable. If you bring into someone to do something you have no idea about, you don't know the main KPIs, how are you going to know he's doing a good job? There's 0% of success this way. I mean, you might get lucky and he might do a good job, but then if he leaves, you have no idea how to bring in someone else. So, and it happens a lot. It's like being a waiter. It's switched all the time. Support agents are coming and going. So usually with e-commerce, the first hire, not just with e-commerce. Yeah, with e-commerce, usually the first hire is around support. Once you get enough support tickets on Gorgias or whatever tool you use, then it's a good time to get a support agent. And from there, as you grow, you need different teams, but it really depends on it can change, depends on the business. But yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say that also people sometimes think that they need to improve. They need to focus on this one thing, get it 1000% better, and then the store is going to be successful. And that's just, it's not true. And it's also much harder to do. The truth is, if you really look at the entire funnel, all the way from the top of the funnel, all the way up to the lifetime value over 1 year, for example, what you need to do is you need to look at, and there are so many places where you can do that. improve every little thing by 5%, and the multiple is insane. If you improve 5 different things by 5%, it's not 20%, it's like 80% increase in your overall, because everything is increases, and it's much easier if you improve your ad copy 5%, your creative 5%, your audience 5%, then the website, you improve your product page 5% in terms of loading speed, 5% in terms of conversion rate, improve the average order value 5%, increase conversion rate 5%, increase the charge on shipping 5%, and increase the post-purchase offers 5%. All of these different things 5%. Increase email marketing 5%, increase SMS 5%, increase retargeting 5%. If you do this small change of each area of the business, the impact is insane, and you don't need to aim to do this. I'm doing Facebook ads 100% of my time. I want to get it 10,000 times better. It's near impossible. You just need to improve everything over time.
Okay, wow, that's actually really interesting, because from the videos I've made on Shopify and following other of these Shopify gurus on the internet, it's a weird space, because a lot of people who are running successful Shopify stores don't have the time or the desire to spend sharing the information. You know what I mean? So you get a lot of people in this thing that's thinking, yeah, throw up a store, and not realizing that it's important to know where you get the suppliers, know your audience, know what you're selling, know the pricing, have enough budget for marketing and all that type of stuff. When you also, if I know you don't sell on Shopify right now, and you're focused on the app, and we'll get into that again. But when you started off on Shopify, what type of budget did you have, or did you plan for marketing?
Not enough, that's for sure. But yeah, we started pretty much, we didn't have a goal in mind. I think we started with a couple of $100 each time. But I released everything. Like I decided I'm 100% in it. I released the funds my mother saved her entire life for my degree. I lost everything. I released the how do you call it when you get money out of not guarantee, but never mind. In Israel, when you get out of the army, you get like 30,000 shekels, which is like $10,000. For studies, so you can start your own life, open your own business, whatever. So I released this money as well, lost it as well, took a bunch of loans, lost it as well. I lost pretty much everything I could lose back in the day. Yeah, because again, I didn't see a reason to back off of it. But in terms of the marketing budget, we tried a lot of different things. We understood that paid marketing is a key for growth, but we tried a lot of other different things that also brought us some revenue. We also didn't focus on one platform. We did search ads, and we did Facebook and a bunch of other things. Yeah.
And okay, and when you continued to lose everything, right? Yeah. What were the people around you saying?
And crazy person. My parents were, I think they were really mad at me back in the day. They were confused. They thought that I'm losing my mind. They thought about this woohoo thing about online store, which is what they didn't understand what it means. My friends used to ask me, wait, so you still have this online store thing? They didn't understand how big it can be. And you're trying to tell them, dude, Amazon is an online store. And they're like, nah, it's not the same thing. And they don't understand the scale and the magnitude of what you're trying to achieve. And I was okay with it in a way. One of the hardest blows we got, that was like a year and a half into business. We didn't have a single profitable month yet. We used to lose like $2,000 a month, something like that. And I remember we were in Krakow, and there was a phone order for 2 home gym equipment. It was like $4,000 order. I was so happy. We paid for it, we shipped it, we were so happy. Then we got a chargeback, and we just lost the money. So we were already in such a huge loss, and then this chargeback came. But we used to frame everything very positively. Even back then, we were broken by this because we didn't have any money to lose, and we just lost what we used to lose in a month. But we used to reframe everything. You know what? Never mind. Now we know that we need to handle this chargeback thing or whatever. You need to reframe everything to your advantage. Eventually, everybody is going to start. 90% of Shopify stores are being closed within the first few months. The ones that are going to succeed probably either have tons of luck, which is unlikely, or they're just going to stick to it and have the balls to sit down, learn, and have the work ethic to continue push forward. That's all about it.
Wow. Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. But a lot of the time, I get a lot of these questions because as an entrepreneur, I've been an entrepreneur since I can remember, right? I studied math and then got into my own businesses. One failed, the whole nine. And you very few people are successful entrepreneurs. So you seldomly have people on saying, yes, continue losing money. You know what I mean? When you're successful, you're like, whoa, it made sense. And that's why I asked, because a lot of those times, a lot of people watching this might be running a business and confused. And the same thing you said, when you give up, that's game over. That's a waste. But a lot of people don't realize the depth and the sacrifice and the focus that you actually have to have, the reality of the positions that you get yourself in.
Yeah, you need to. There were plenty of nights when I went to go. I don't want to say crying, maybe it's a little bit, but you feel this pit in your stomach, this darkness, and it's something you have to deal with. It's not easy. The easiest thing to do is you're just saying, you know what, fuck it, let's go back to the previous job I had. Make this minimum wage or whatever. Just making enough money so I can eat something, go to sleep quietly, and that's it. But nothing compares to the feeling I had when I was when I was working for someone else, that this is not what I'm supposed to do. I don't want someone else to manage my own life so I can work for him to make his dream a reality. Not my thing. I want to do my own thing. Also in my company, I'm always making sure that people are having fun. I want to make sure that I work with the people that also want to push the company forward. I don't want to work with people that want to be somewhere else. So that's kind of, what I'm trying to achieve. But that's a different story. If we're talking about ourselves, yes, the sacrifice is there. It's big, and you need to be ready for it. You need to be man enough or a woman enough to handle it.
And what prepared you to be ready for it? If someone is getting into entrepreneur, you say you have to be ready for it. What prepared you to be ready for that? I know you mentioned when you went to the army. I think that's an actual big deal. And I had left my country when I was 18. I went to US alone on a scholarship, right? And I just kind of believed in myself for whatever reason, right?
Yeah.
What prepared you for it? And is there anything you think people can do or to prepare for that doubt or prepare for those lower times?
Yeah, you know what? There are some personal stuff that I don't know if I should. You know what? Yeah, why not? So when I just got out of the army, I used to be I was in a different place in my life. I was kind of a loser in a sense. The way I felt toward myself,
Okay.
and I also I was very bad with the girls. So I decided to learn to take responsibility on this part of my life. I started studying, learning about dating and how to, kind of try and approach women and talk to them. It was an issue for me. It was a real issue for me. I was never able to talk to girls, and it took me a lot of pain for like a year and a half. That took a lot of effort from me. I had to experience a lot of pain and go through it again and again and again, get rejected again and again and again, until something cracks and something, the feeling you're getting whenever you're getting rejected, whenever you're failing, it's changing from negative, from this bad experience that you're feeling like you're about to die and you have to break through it, something changes and suddenly there is something fun about it. Suddenly there is something that you're feeling like you're making progress. You're feeling this like you're in the gym and you're giving this one extra set.
Right.
That's starting to feel more like this and less like this painful, scary moment. And after you, and slowly but steady, you start changing, your personality change. I was never able to talk to you the way I'm talking to you right now. Like 10 years ago, it wasn't me. I wasn't able to do that. And then once you start changing these parts of your personality, and trust me, learning how to date girls was so much harder than business. After you're doing that, after you're changing yourself as a person, you start loving yourself more, you start having more confidence. Doing this, just keep going after you're losing some money. I mean, who cares? Honestly, that's super easy compared to the other journey.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
That's just that's a little bit personal, but yeah, why not? I mean, we're already here.
No, that helps, because from doing a lot of these videos and from interacting with a lot of my audience, I've had like one-on-one classes and so on. And these are the type of questions. And me personally, like in my life, my father was an entrepreneur, my mother was a teacher. So, and even when I made the step to be an entrepreneur, no one in my family wanted me to be an entrepreneur. Everyone is just like, you study mathematics, go work for insurance company, or go be a math
teacher.
Be
a lawyer.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And that type of thing. So a lot of entrepreneurs do not have that. A lot of aspiring entrepreneurs ask that type of question, and that's interesting. That's thanks for sharing that personal bit about your life, but that's really interesting. Okay, so
that was helpful.
So I wanted to switch up just one more thing and get back to building software and building a team and all that type of stuff. Now, first of all, when you first started to build with your first app, it was just you, your sister, and then you outsourced to develop the application, right?
Yeah.
And then what happened? Is it that you build a team? Is it that you keep outsourcing?
So when we just launched the app, the first two apps, which was shipping tags, and then right after that ReConvert, we got some attention. We started getting a lot of installs for a new app. We saw that merchant loved it. We saw that it was a success in a way. And then we were very low on budget. We were having a lot of doubts whether we should stop development for a few months just to let some money in. And then, we invested. We made kind of a brave decision to we decided not to withdraw any money from the company and just reinvest directly into development. And we kept doing that for about 6 months. Every penny that came through the app just went back to development. We were doing all of the support on our own. We decided we don't want anyone to do the marketing. No one is doing support until we really have no choice. So we had, except for the development that we just, it's impossible to kind of learn development within 2 months and then just do it your own. It's impossible. Right. So all of the money went back to development. One more developer, one more developer, one more developer. All the money that came in. Ruth took care of the organic marketing. She's an awesome writer. So she started our blog, started doing some guest postings, some partnerships. I did the PPC and I did the support and some growth hacking around the App Store. And then we kind of grew from there. When we had enough tickets, we brought in the first support person. The first support person brought in the next support person. And things kind of rolled out from there. Now we have kind of a big team. We have like 40 people.
Okay, and on the financial side, is you scaled to 40 people self-funded? Did you have to raise money? If you don't mind, if that's something
Oh, we are bootstrapped completely, man. I'm like 100% bootstrapped, self-funded. I don't want to be honest, it's something we are being asked a lot. I think the question whether or not to raise money should come from 2 places, maybe 3, but the 2 main ones are either you need more resources, okay, and we really don't need any extra resources. We have enough resources on our own. And the second, it's about lifestyle, because once you're getting this first round of funds, the way the company is going to be handled, it's different. You're
Yeah.
not going to be able anymore not to show up if you choose not to, or work from home, and you have to create these reports and report to someone else. I already have the IRS right here, so it's good. The IRS, I mean the Israeli
Yeah.
authority, whatever. But still, you see what I'm saying. I don't want to. I want to run the business the way I want to run the business, and not report to anybody else. The other option to raise money, that might be something we do in the future. It might be if we are looking for a key player that we know can support the business in a way that can really help us grow in a way that we couldn't until now. But growing the business from I don't know, a $10 million a year company to $100 million a year company, then we might need some of these connections. But until what I've seen until now, so many people told me it's impossible to grow a technological company to where you are at without having a CTO. We've done this. We have our CTO now, but it doesn't own any shares of the company. They told me the same about the CMO and the same about everything else pretty much around the business. You just need to find the right people. And I think right now we have a very good team. We're very proud on what they're doing. I'm now, I can disappear for like a week and nothing is going to happen. Everything is going to be fine.
Okay. And is it that the entire team, what is the goal of the team now? Is it that y'all are just making the ReConvert better and tweaking, or is it that y'all are working on new applications? What is the idea? What is the plan for your company at this stage?
For the next year or in general?
For the next year. First of all, how far forward do you plan?
So 1 year is good, more than good enough. Right now, maybe next year we'll do a longer one, but things are so dynamic, at least at the beginning when you're just starting out, everything is so dynamic. So there's no point in planning 5 years ahead. After what you plan get executed, then you can plan further. Okay, that's what I think. So if you plan 1 month ahead, you manage to hit all the goals. Now it's time to plan 6 months and then year, and then, never mind. So the next year, first of all, we acquired one app like a year and a half ago. And this year we're looking into merging it into ReConvert. This app is doing cart recovery and marketing automation via SMS and email. So we want to merge it into ReConvert. And each team have its own goals. The main goal eventually, is to grow the company, grow the revenue, so that we can bring in more people and the entire company can get the lifestyle we all want. So that's what we're working towards, helping merchants. We really, our apps are apps built by merchants for merchants in order to help merchants make more money. That's the bottom line of what we're trying to do. And the goal for 2022 is keep doing what we're doing better. Help more merchants generate more revenue. That's the goal.
And do you have any data on how much more revenue merchants gain by using ReConvert?
So on average, it really depends because there are so many things.
There are a lot of different parameters. But
on average, the revenue increase is between 5 to 10% instantly. Instant revenue increase with 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes of work. You get between 5 to 10% increase on revenue. That's the average. I've seen stores getting 30%, 20%, but these are the stores that usually push forward. And this is just from one extra page in your store. And the beautiful thing is that this revenue is almost as close as it can be to a pure profit, because you already paid to acquire the customer on Shopify, probably paid Facebook or Google. But once you got to the point where you're on the thank you page, you have zero acquisition cost. So A, you can afford a larger discount on the additional item. And B, again, if you do close the sale, the profit margin out of this last, the additional item is so much higher. So even if you generate extra 10% in revenue, it can be an extra 15 to 20% in net profit. So that's like much bigger.
Wow. Respect, dude. We've been going for about an hour so far, but this is.
Oh, really? I'm having fun.
Yeah. This is interesting. Now, do you think this is maybe a stupid question? Do you think anyone could do this? Anyone could wake up and build an app for Shopify?
Yeah, I'm already pushing a lot of my friends to do that. Some of them are already making like 12, 15, $20,000 a month from apps. I mean, dude, most of them fail. It's a business.
Right.
Let's put it all in one box. Business, most people fail because they think they have what it takes mentally. It's not even professionally. And then they lose it once shit hits the fence. Okay, that's the truth. But I can say that from my experience, it's much easier to generate revenue with apps compared to e-commerce. Maybe the scale can be lower, although there are apps making north of $1 million a month with much higher profit margins. You can imagine, because the product is zero is cost.
Right.
The product cost is zero. So that's one. But yeah, I think you need to be creative. If you come to the Shopify App Store right now and build a reviews app, you're not going to make a dime, because there are like 20 reviews apps. There are huge team behind them. You need to be creative. You need to create something that is unique, utilize a new technology, a new API that came out. If you do that, tons of potential. And the thing is, you really don't need much to create enough revenue for it to be profitable. And these assets, it's very easy to sell Shopify apps. There is a huge market. We keep getting a lot of requests for people asking to buy these apps. Even the one that is now generating like 2K, we got not long ago like an offer for 80K to sell it.
Wow.
Now we're not selling it because we're doing nothing. It's just sitting there and generating revenue.
Right.
So it's if you build a unique solution, it's pretty easy to generate revenue on Shopify as an app developer.
Wow. Okay. And as an app developer, but do you need development experience to be an app developer? You said you encourage a lot of your friends. Are these just friends in business? Are these friends in Shopify dropshipping?
So I'll give you an example. One friend of mine, he just got back from a few years abroad, and he told me, "Hey, I just got back in Israel. I saw like a YouTube channel of yours, a video of yours. I want to open a dropshipping store." And I told him, "You know what? Maybe we should maybe we should go to build an app." So he didn't have any experience, not in development and not in e-commerce in general. So again, we came up with this process to kind of simplify everything. And in general, I believe that you should, as a businessman, simplify everything you can until you can't anymore, because it's really becoming complex. Right. People try to think about everything. If I think about my business today and I was trying to think about all the complex things I'll have to do in the future, I would probably never start at the beginning. At the beginning, you just start. Eventually, suddenly there is taxes, and there's accounting, and there's legal, and there's like development and HR and all these crappy things around it. But at the beginning, you keep it simple. And we created a very simple process. Let me make it simple. You come up with an idea, okay, or a list of ideas. You rank them by a few different category, like areas or metrics. Give it like a potential score. After you decided on an idea, you create a specification document. Just write everything it should do. Be as specific as possible. Go to Upwork. Search for a Shopify developer, ask him for the time estimation, close the deal, open the partner account, give him to work on the app, wait a month or two for him to work on it, launch it, and go from there. Okay. That's like the basic process. Again, there's more information about it in our channel if anyone find it interesting, but that's like the main simple way to go about it.
Okay, Eric. Wow, this was actually really interesting. You have me. I mean, I'm not going to go out and build a Shopify app. That's just not my
not your thing.
Not my thing. I built software before, and I don't really want to go down that road again. But
yeah, it's it's funny. Everyone have its own thing. For me, it's the other way around.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, dude. I mean, if there's one piece of it before we go. So guys. Again, look in the description. I'll put a link to Eric, both YouTube channels. I'll put a link to both applications. If you're a Shopify dropshipper, as we said, as Eric mentioned earlier, you see users of ReConvert are seeing 5 to 10% increase in sales. So check it out. It's free trial if you're free forever if you're a small store. So go get it. But if you have to give one piece of advice for entrepreneurs out there that you didn't before, what would it be? Just one.
Just keep going. keep going, but keep going hard. Don't keep going, just hoping for it to be okay. Keep going hard.
Okay, I like it. All right, guys. So thanks for your time. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment in the comment section. Any questions for myself? Any questions for Eric? Eric, if people want to reach out to your team for questions, is there an email that they can reach out to, or is there help desk?
Yeah, they can reach out to me directly, eric@reconvert.io. I'll be more than happy to answer everybody.
Okay.
Or direct them in the right direction within the company.
Oh, wow. Okay. So there you got it, guys. You have direct email to Eric. So thanks a lot for your time, Eric. Guys, thanks for staying on this long. Again, I really appreciate the time we have. Hopefully we'll have you on the channel again. And yeah, have a good one.
Thank you for having me.